Hello there, I'm back again with another video. This video is going to be on how to balance a control surface. I apologize, there's a humming in the background. Hopefully you can hear me over it. Like my other videos, since this is actually a project on a plane, we need our tech manual. I printed out the pages so I don't need the whole book out here, so I can just look at the pages and do what it says. This is a small section of a aileron. I've added weights on the corners to try to make it weigh out like a Cessna 172. So we're going to get started. I've watched videos on YouTube on doing this. They're not bad. They show you how to actually check the balance of the control surface, but they don't really show you how to set the tool up. So we're going to start from scratch and we're going to see what we can do. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. If you like the video, leave me a comment. Okay, the first thing we got to do is we got to clamp our supports on the table. Then the hinges slide into the slits on the stand. If we were going to do an elevator or a rudder, we would insert the bolts through the hinge joints, and then we would rest the bolts on the knife edges of the stand. We'd have to make sure that we're on the shoulder area. We can't put the threaded area on the shoulder. So back to the aileron. The first thing it tells me to do is to get the trailing edge of the aileron up to 1.8 inches. So I take my trusty caliper. I've got a piece of 2x4 and a little wedge. So I set it back here. And that looks good. Now it tells me I'm supposed to put my balancing tool at station 154. So what that means is we'd have to go to the center of the airplane and measure out 154 inches. I did it on the 172 earlier. It basically comes out to the center hinge. So in our little example here, we're going to use this as the center hinge to set up our tool and to put the tool. So this is our balancing tool, or balancing beam. We need to put the pointed area on the hinge joint. We need to get let me double check, see if I'm still at 1.8. A little high now, so I'm going to back my hinge out. Okay, once we get the tool set up on the aileron, we need to take a spirit level. We need to put it in the middle here, and now I need to balance, level the tool. Right about there looks level, so I'm going to tighten my little wing nut back here to hold it in place. Make sure I'm on my hinge joint. Got to tighten this screw here so that don't move. Then again, double check, make sure I'm on my 1.8. Okay, everything looks good. Now that we got all this set, we take the spirit level off for now. Okay, now that we got the tool situated on the aileron like it's supposed to be, we got it in the right position. Now, according to my book, I got to take this off and I got to balance it. As you might be able to see in the video, I've had to add a lot more weights to this thing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start putting little BBs inside that little cup. You see see if we can get this thing to balance out. Let me get my spirit level. Put it here. You need to hold this thing fairly level because the arm is going to screw you up as you pour these in. So right now I want it a little heavy on that end so I can see when it starts to get heavy, bring it down this way. Bring it back to level and see if we can stay there. Okay, since a BB won't work, I'm going to use aluminum rivets. Doesn't really matter what you use for weights. This could be a little time consuming, but it's got to be done. If we don't get it exact, we got to be pretty darn close. Okay, that's close enough. Now we take the level off and we put it back on the control surface. Now for this, I like to put the beam so it lines up with this, so as the control surface tilts forward, it'll hit this. So now we get our 1 pound weight. Get our 1 pound weight, and according to my book here, if it's a painted aileron, which this one is, it should be tail heavy. I've removed the wedge. I want it to be able to go lower than the 1.8. And at 11.31, I should be leading edge heavy. So let's start. So if I put this here at 0, which really I don't really need to do since I'm already trailing edge heavy, I'm good. Now we bring it out some. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll go to 7 inches. Nope. Let's go 9 inches. 9 inches. Let's go a little further. 10 inches. 10 inches definitely makes us leading edge heavy. So we're within our specifications. That means we're good to go. Now, if, for example, we're going to say that weight is now at 11.3 and I'm still trailing edge heavy. Okay, as I was saying, we're going to make believe my weight here is at 11.8 inches. I'm still tail heavy. Now I've got to add weights to the front edge here. This is where the weights for the aileron is. They go all the way down here. We got to put weights there and try to make it nose heavy. It doesn't matter what I use, I just got to have some weights there. Okay, that makes me nose heavy. Now what I need to do is make sure that when I get back to 0, I'm still tail heavy, which I am. So then what I would do is remove these weights. Put them on a scale and weigh them. Once I find out how much they weigh, then I'd order one of these lead weights that built for the aileron and get it to weigh the same as these. Now, when you do add a weight to the aileron, it must be held on by 2 rivets or more. You can't just have a little piece held on with one. If you should happen to need a weight that just barely covers 2 rivets, or 2 rivets is too much weight for it, you can mount the weight and then go down and drill holes in the other weights to reduce the weight of them to get it where it needs to go. So, just to recap, A, we get our book. B, we clamp our stands to the table. C, we put the aileron in the slots on the clamp. We block the back of the aileron up to 1.8 inches, what the book tells me to do. It's going to be different for each airplane. The 210 out there, you actually put the aileron in inverted, upside down. Once you get the trailing edge where it's supposed to be, we put the tool on and level it. Once we got the tool level, we take it off and we balance the tool. We get it as close to perfect as possible if we can't get it exactly perfect. Once we get it where we need it, we put it back on the aileron or the control surface, and then we read the book. Like I said, we're 0 to 11.31. So as long as we're tail heavy at 0 and we're nose heavy at 11.31, we're good to go. I hope that helps. If not, again, leave me comments and I'll see if I can do something better. Again, if we were doing the rudder or the elevators, we would put the bolts back in where the hinges were and set them up on top of the knife edges and do the exact same thing. Read in the book, find out where the tool needs to be put on the control surface, level the tool out, remove the tool, balance the tool, put it back on, and check the control surface. Have a good day.